Hello and welcome to my Windwalker guide on how to effectively use the ability Storm, Earth, and Fire in PvP. To start things off, let's first go over what Storm, Earth, and Fire is, as well as some useful macros that will help you use this spell effectively. Storm, Earth, and Fire is a monk ability that is only available for the Windwalker spec, that allows the monk to generate up to 2 clones of the monk that mimic damage and attacks. Each time you summon a clone, you reduce the damage and healing by a percentage. Even if the tooltip does not say anything about healing, your healing gets cut depending on how many clones you have out at once. If you have 1 clone out, it reduces your main output damage down to 75% from 100%, and if you have 2 clones out, it reduces the output damage to 50%, so 25% damage reduction per clone. Keep in mind that these clones have very little health and won't mimic attacks if used to attack the same target as the main monk does. One useful note is that in the transition from Mist to Draenor, Storm, Earth, and Fire got removed off the global cooldown, so you can now use this when in mid-global. Let's next cover a few macros and what they do that will help you use Storm, Earth, and Fire effectively. The first macro is a Mouseover Focus macro. This is a general macro that I use all the time in PvP, not just for Storm, Earth, and Fire, but for helping me set up my focus CC. All this macro does is allow you to set a target to focus by hovering over the target and hitting the macro. The macro is /focus space bracket at Mouseover bracket. The second macro is a simple macro and it fits well with our previous macro, and that is /cast bracket at focus bracket Storm, Earth, and Fire. By using these 2 macros, you're able to quickly summon your clones on targets that you need to deal pressure on. The last macro that I would suggest you pick up is a Cancelaura macro. One of the drawbacks to using Storm, Earth, and Fire is canceling the buff that you want to burst. If you have the stacks and you want to CC and dump all your damage onto your main kill target, it helps if you pull your clones off that target or targets in order to deal 100% of your normal damage to your kill target. This is where this macro comes in handy. In order to pull back your clones, normally, you first have to target the target that you put your clone on, then hit the ability again in order to pull the clone off of that target. If you have 2 clones out, you have to target each one individually, then hit the Storm, Earth, and Fire ability to pull them back. By using this macro, you are able to pull all active clones back to you without having to target enemy players that you have your clones on, and are able to focus your burst on your main target. This macro is /Cancelaura Storm, Earth, and Fire. I highly suggest using these macros, for they will help you out a lot in PvP or even PvE. Now that we have gone over the macros and what the ability is, let's next talk about the different situations that you want to use Storm, Earth, and Fire to its full advantage in PvP. There are really 2 different methods and thought processes when using Storm, Earth, and Fire and PvP. Method and Thought Process 1. This method is a style that I usually use, and what you will find most players will use in regular PvP, and that is the pressure method. The pressure method is a method where you use Storm, Earth, and Fire as a tool to deal pressure outside of cooldowns. Normally, you will use this method when you have pressure rolling on 1 or more targets, and there is a healer or other players entering the fray before you can kill your main target. There are many ways to go about this method, but let's discuss it a bit. The most common time I use this method is when I'm facing a healer and DPS in a 1vx situation. Let's say that I'm in a situation where I'm versing a hunter. I've brought him down to around half health, and a priest comes in to help his teammate out. Keeping in mind that hunters are a pain to catch up to, what I would probably do is throw the priest into a paralysis, set the hunter to focus, Walk up to the priest and start to DPS the priest while I'm throwing my Storm Within Fire on the hunter. By doing this, I'm able to keep the priest pressured by sticking on him for a kick or CC, and at the same time, I'm able to do damage to the hunter, eventually killing him or the priest because the priest can't keep up with the damage. I have an example clip here that I will be talking about. It's not the best clip, but it will give you a general understanding of what I'm talking about, so let's hop right into it. Alright guys, what we're going to be doing is we're rolling into this example clip. So basically, keep in mind again that this is not the best example out there. So I'm going to be DPSing this warlock. Our priest is going to eventually enter the fray, and in order to deal pressure to both, in order to land a kill, basically I would be doing this if my teammates were not around. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hopping on the priest so I can be here to kick or deal pressure with stuns, Fist of Fury, leg sweep, whenever I can, and simultaneously putting my clone on the warlock so I can start DPSing both targets down to eventually land a kill. Again, it's not the best example because there's teammates around, but if I were alone, I'd still be able to secure a kill by using this method. So basically, I'm constantly being able to deal pressure to the priest while applying a kick if I need to, and constantly pressure the warlock so the healer can't catch up. Again, not the best example clip because there's teammates around, but it gives you a general understanding on how to use it. Method in Thought Process 2. The second method is a burst method with Storm Within Fire. This is where you burst with Storm Within Fire out by either popping your Tiger Brew or Trinket or both. This method is more rarely used in PvP or used in comps like Windwalker Lock. In general PvP, you probably won't find yourself using this method unless you're versing more than one healer in a 1vx fight for added pressure because you don't have much of a choice. With all the limited CC, as well as time to burst in a 1vx fight, it allows you to put up decent pressure, and then you will probably want to pull off your clones at some point if you are sure to land proper cross CC to secure a kill. The only other time I can see you using this method is unfortunately in 2v2 arenas. If you're capping, I've used this method plenty of times in order to secure a kill in arenas versus healer DPS teams. Keep in mind that this might change when 6.1 comes out. Teams like Disc Priests and Resto Druids can't keep up with Storm Within Fire to a point, so just find a target that you can stick on and then put a clone out on the other one. However, only use this method if you have been in the game for a while and switches are not getting anywhere. Hopefully this opened your mind to the power of Storm Within Fire, and hopefully it helped you better understand how to use this ability in PvP. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment down below. I try to read and respond to every single comment I get. To vote on the next guide you want to see, please check the straw poll link down below and let me know what you think. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and be sure to leave a like and share it around if you think that it will help others. Look forward to seeing you all in the next guide, and as always, have a great day guys.
Good Gaming, an e-learning and social networking platform built exclusively for gamers and designed to turn you into an esports champion. We give you the tools, resources, and support to game better. Instructional videos and e-learning guides give you access to powerful strategies and the secrets of the pros so you can dominate your opponents. Our exclusive mercenary system gives you access to personalized support or offer your own services to the highest bidder. And compete in exclusive Good Gaming online tournaments to win cash and prizes. What are you waiting for? Become a Good Gaming member today. Good Gaming, revolutionize your game.